Every day we live automatically becomes our past, but it's how we live that makes it our history. And today we are here to discuss with our guests and with you, dear viewers, a very significant event that came into our history and that became possible just thanks to the choice of millions around the world who made it possible. And it is the Worldwide Forum Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, that took place on 7th of May. And the topics raised in the forum were vital for everyone. So people organized the simultaneous translation into 100 languages and the streams, the broadcasts into thousands of platforms just to make sure that everyone will get access to this vital information. And this event united people from 180 countries of the globe to talk about the real threats and challenges of our civilization, but also about solutions that are already available that will work only in the conditions where the human life will be put first, will be the priority number one in our society, in other words, in the creative society.
Greetings. And now I would like to welcome the guests of today's international discussion. And I would like to introduce Johanna Rueda, who is a support worker from Queensland, Australia. Johanna, hi, great to see you here with us today. And also we have Aftab Alam, PhD scholar in international relations, researching the topic of global climate change from Pakistan. Aftab also translated the previous conference in December into Pashto for the whole 12 hours. So Aftab, hi, welcome, and happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
And the main topic of the forum was the climate crisis and how people in all parts of the earth have already been affected in one way or another by the disasters happening worldwide. And Johanna, we know that the Australian continent has been affected by numerous natural disasters, including floods, fires, cyclones, drought. And we see that natural disasters are increasing worldwide, and one country alone cannot solve the issues that are to come. And as an eyewitness, can you please share with us, are people prepared and what can be done? And just please share your views and what happened in Australia in the past few years.
For the last 3 months, there has been raining pretty much every day. And these have caused floods, and the state of New South Wales and Queensland have been affected pretty deeply. We have some casualties. A couple of people passed away because of this. A lot of houses got destroyed. There's one little town in New South Wales called Lismore that they got completely flooded. People have to be evacuated, but they didn't really evacuate on time. So some people have to even spend nights in the roof of the house, waiting for people to help for the emergency service to arrive. But they didn't really could cope with this. There was pretty much 2 stays and a lot of people who needed help. And the government didn't act accordingly and on time to actually help these people to get to places that they were saved. Apart from that, these people didn't get help on time and didn't go any housing or any support like, water, food, blankets. The community actually unite to provide all of this for these people, but they didn't really got the help from the government or the funding that they're supposed to have as a taxpayer. We expected that some of that money it goes to disasters or to the emergency service. That's how they're supposed to be in this country. But a lot of people didn't really get any help, and they still, even right now, try to talk to the government to ask for funding or grants to rebuild the houses, or to even just put a stop on the mortgage because they still have to pay to the banks, and every day is getting worse. So yeah, it's not really easy for these people, and I mean, nobody really is helping, or nobody really is caring. And the funny thing is, like, you see in the news what is happening, and they do all the covering, but we don't know what happened after the disaster. So these people don't have houses. They're living on friends' house, or even in caravans or in tents and things like that. But no any help had been provided for them. And these people, they have the family and support around, but what about the people who live in conditions like disability? These people, they get in the worst because they need the help of the system to actually support them. Like, as a carer, if I don't go to see my clients, they won't be able to get up from the bed, or they wouldn't be able to eat. So it's pretty bad.
Thank you very much for sharing, because, when we hear these reports and stories, first of all, the stories of people from the first account, we cannot just stay ignorant. And that was also a lot of reportages and eyewitnesses, telling their experience in the forum that took place on 7th of May. And it's really scary because people just stay along with the problems. And as you said, they even have to pay mortgage, even if there is no house anymore. So it shows how unprotected we are, and also the groups of our society that need even more protection, as people, for example, with disabilities. And this is showing what priorities we actually have. And the same story we observed here in Germany last summer, that just since 1 year passed, I don't know what we've learned. So many people died in the flood in Germany. And these are wealthy countries who have enough money, who have the technologies, but we don't see them in the practice. So I would like also to ask Aftab, could you please share your experience and your observations, for example, in Pakistan? So we've seen that Pakistan was also being affected by various of cataclysms, and many people have died due to the lack of warnings, timely evacuation, and proper implementation of technologies for preventing disasters and saving human lives. Could you please share what you observe?
Yes. Basically, according to the World Climates, are the international climate researcher, are the scientists, are engineer of environmental sciences. According to them, South Asian region and African region is more affected right now. And Pakistan is also one of the country in South Asian region, and one of the top 20 country which is affected by the global climate change. And we have experience from the past 10 years that our glaciers are melting, the people are migrating, and there are different issues. But being a student of international politics, I'm observing this situation in my country and in Afghanistan, because these both countries are severely affected. In 2010, there was a flood in the most of the region in Pakistan and Afghanistan, most of the areas, and there is thousands of people were affected, because most of the people were migrated into different areas, and they have caused different issues, security issue, population increasement issues, and so many other things. So the climate change is basically a threat multiplier for the developing countries, because most of the countries like Pakistan, their economy is totally based on agriculture, and and because of the little resources, it is difficult for the government to contain the issue of global climate change. So there is also different other issues like the security issues, political instability, economic structure problems, and so many other overpopulation and all of these things. But the global climate change has caused, they can multiply these threats. I'm very happy that the creative society is doing this job, that they are trying to educate the people in this context, that globally we can do everything and we can contain this issue.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, one of the other problems we see worldwide today, and it's very concerning, is the lack of water worldwide. So we can see that rivers are drying up, or we can see that the bodies of water that we do have are being polluted. And of course, we all know that we need water to survive, and that is one of our main resources. And right now, I would like to watch a video that was part of the forum about what technologies we have and what technologies can be implemented in order to provide clean water for all people. But we can only do this in the creative society. So let's watch a short video right now.
The world is already divided into those who are desperately short of water and those who still have it. According to UN data, humanity needs to wake up to the looming water crisis. And this is despite the fact that nowadays we know how to extract water even from the air and even in the most arid region. Water from fog. In one of the world's largest capitals, Lima, located in the desert, fog is collected in huge nets and used to produce drinking water. Morocco has one of the largest plants, which produces up to 6,000 liters of drinking water a day from the fog. Its operation costs practically nothing and does not require external energy. Water from the air. Atmospheric water generators allow you to extract up to 3,000 liters of drinking water per day, and it can be increased up to 1 million liters. Can be mobile and stationary. They can operate from any energy source and in any climate, even in the arid desert, are used for the needs of the military in some countries and well proven in emergency situations. For example, in 2010, after the Haiti earthquake, the generator produced thousands of gallons of clean water for drinking, wound washing, and surgery. Do you agree to die of thirst in the presence of such modern technology? Water desalination units. Worldwide, about 16,000 desalination plants purify ocean water from salt and turn it into fresh water. They can produce millions of gallons of fresh water a day and supply 300 million people. Innovative developments already allow desalination plants to be environmentally friendly, work even on the energy of ocean waves, and not to harm the ocean. In the water, they can retain the minerals needed for irrigation of fields and extract minerals from the remaining brine. This is ultimate cynicism and cruelty. When millions of people die of thirst in countries located on the ocean coasts, while such technologies are available. And this is the essence of the consumerist format of the society in which we live. Water retreatment. The technology has passed many tests. The water is safe even for drinking, and its quality exceeds World Health Organization standards. Meanwhile, every 2 minutes, One child dies from a disease related to contaminated water. 2 billion people in the world use drinking water sources that are contaminated with feces. By 2025, half of the world's population will live in areas with water scarcity. In just 3 years, it will be every second person. Actually, we don't have even these 3 years. Due to climate change, the situation on the planet is changing rapidly every day. And trouble comes where no one was expecting it. So, what will you personally choose? To die of thirst? Or to drink fecal water? That's the choice which you have in a consumer society. Nowadays, humanity has all the necessary technologies to provide water to drink for everyone. But in the consumerist format, trillions are spent to kill people, and saving our lives is way too expensive. By our inaction, we support this cruel, dead-end, and absurd format of the consumer society. The format in which these problems will never be solved, because our survival for the consumer society means earnings. Nowadays, profit is more important than our lives, and our deaths are just dry figures. The only way out is to change the format. The most important thing you can do now to save your life, the lives of your loved ones, and all people on the planet, is to join in informing about the creative society. Because only by changing the format of society will we be able to prioritize the value of human life. We will introduce advanced technology everywhere and guarantee the protection of every person's life. Act now. Inform about the creative society.
Yeah, this is definitely not the option to die of thirst or due to the contaminated water. So, Aftab, I would like to come back to the topic that you raised before, that melting glaciers are really threatening the populations of South Asia who depend on the clean water, but it's getting less and less due to glacier melting. So, yes, we know that this topic is really a big concern for you too. Could you please share what do you observe in Pakistan due to the water crisis, and what do you think needs to be done to implement the technologies that we just saw in this video?
Thank you so much. Basically, all the entire lower developing countries, including Pakistan, most of them are agriculture economies. Their economy is totally dependent on agriculture. And if you look towards the crops is directly dependent on the water. So they have an organic relationship between the survival of the people of a particular country, basically particularly the Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the South Asian region. Because our economies, our GDP is dependent upon our agriculture. But if there is no water for the human beings, for the people, for the citizens of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and some of the other South Asian regions, so how we can provide water to our agriculture? So it is an alarming and the threat for our economics or political and all of. That's why I'm talking that this is the climate change is a threat multiplier. And if recently the people protested in our big city Lahore, and the people, most of the people rise banners and they protest and they give threats to the government that we are not, that we are going to die because of the water scarcity. So this is a big problem. And the second important thing is that we have no technology to resolve this problem, because the people of the developing countries, they totally depend on the developed world. And the relationship between these developing and developed world is what I'm saying, that this relationship between these two countries is the word is not good. And that's why it is important for the people and also for the government that they can take initiative to resolve these problems. But if the word, what I'm saying, that the word developing countries, the developed world, if they are not supporting the developed world, the developing countries, so it's difficult for them to survive. In the history of Pakistan, just a few days ago, in most of the area in Sindh, the children are died because of the not availability of water. So my research is, I'm also working on the water issue, but between the Pakistan and Afghanistan, that there is a water transboundary water between Pakistan and Afghanistan. We share the water of the Kabul River, and 65% of the KP population is depend on that Kabul River. But on the other side, the 55% Afghan people are also depend on that Kabul River water. But if you look towards the ratio of the water flow in Kabul River, it is just right now 20%. So how in the near future the people of both countries will survive? So this is a very important question, and it's a big issue and a threat multiplier.
Aftab, can I ask you one more question? Because you know what I observed, for example, here in Germany, we have the lag shortages problem too. So it's not broadly discussed. So, okay, Germany is a wealthy country, one of the leading countries in the Europe, but we are really suffering from the droughts that are already, you know, continuing over almost 5 or 10 years. So really very, very long time period. But we see nothing has been done just to deal with the problem. So the water shortage is not only the problem of, for example, Southern Asia regions. Yeah. This is the problem of the entire globe. That's why this is one of the global crises. What we observed about now, like what we saw in the video, we have the technologies that are really not expensive, but we see really so little examples where they're really implemented. So what do you think needs to be done from the perspective of the society, of people themselves, to really to create this demand that we need these technologies to survive, like everywhere, like globally, not only in one region, but everywhere?
Basically, the people can just raise the voice, and they can, in a democratic structure or in a democratic world, they can change, or they can ask, or they can fulfill their demands through the vote, through the elections, and they can send the people, those people to the parliament, that they can work and they can make policies for the issues of global climate change. But if we send through our vote, the people like that, our parliamentarian or our Senate members, that they cannot work on these basic needs, but they are working on the industries, and they can work for the promotion of their own self, for the elite class, and so on. So again, it will be, they will also affect. They will also affect because of this issue. But the first and most important thing for we people that we can unite all the people of not only the people of Pakistan, because the people of Pakistan alone can do nothing, but the entire world can unite on that this is our basic need. This is the need that the God gave, this is our right that the God gave us. So one is the fundamental, this is our fundamental rights. Okay, we are human beings and we want to live, and this is our right. So for that purpose, it is important that without any race, without any culture, without any customs, without any religion, we unite all the people of the world, and then we will contain this issue. Otherwise, it's difficult that if a particular person or particular organization or particular society they can just work for that. So I think it's difficult for them to control or to contain or take over this particular problem. So unification of the world is important to contain this big issue.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. And, even in the United States, we also see water scarcity issues. I mean, we can see them in California, it's already globally. Maybe, Johanna, maybe you can tell us about Australia as well. So this way our viewers can see how global this crisis is. Could you please share with us, is there water scarcity in Australia as well? Are you observing it now?
I know no right now, but I know a couple of years ago there was, because of the weather, there was droughts everywhere, and the government were asking people to having 5 minutes shower or just to save water. And traditional has been for the Australian people to save water when they do the washing or things like that. They do that as a culture, I guess, because in the past they have been suffer a lot for droughts. I know with the floods there was asking by the government to save water because they could become contaminated with the flood. So we didn't go to that stage, thanks God, but it's something that could happen. Of course, could happen in this country as well. We go one of the driest. Well, we live in a part that is really dry of the country. We could have those shortages of water in the future. It doesn't mean that we can experience this. But thanks God for now, at least for this year, we're all right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. And, today we live in a world where we have spent $330 billion to eradicate famine problems, but we have failed. Where we spent $632 billion in 2020 on reducing CO2 emissions, but the concentration of CO2 is growing, and millions have become climate refugees. Because today we know, and even from the forum, we know that climate is changing, not because of CO2 or anthropogenic factor, but it's a cyclical change of 12,000 years. And also over the last 20 years, $35.5 trillion were spent on wars where millions of us have died. In the last 2 years of the pandemic, the wealth of the richest people on earth grew by $1.3 billion per day, while more and more people got under the poverty line. And according to the predictions of 2023, 100 million people will suffer from hunger due to the global geopolitical situation and the worldwide food shortage, which I don't know about you guys, but we're already seeing it today in the US, inflations and food shortage as well. And we see that today, there can be no solution because of the power and greed of certain individuals, and everything that has been done today, any solutions that have been proposed, any money that has been spent is not solving the global problems. The lives of individuals is not improving. And Johanna, in your opinion, after watching the forum and seeing what is happening in your country and around the world, what do you think can be done to solve all the problems of famine and poverty worldwide?
Well, we definitely have to build the credit society worldwide. It's our only option to actually tackle all these issues. Like, there's so many organizations around the world try to help different things, hunger or violence or poverty, but this won't solve anything because they just kind of encourage people to be dependent of this funding or this grant every year instead of really go to the cause and just make solutions that are actually going to solve the problem. So they're just going to make people dependent every time on the government or in private institutions to actually solve the problems, but that's not going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is that some people is going to take advantage and make money over the life and the suffering of some people. We see that today with slavery and trafficking and refugees, which is a crime, and is I just don't have words to describe how nasty it is. We have to do the credit society is the only option, and we have to tell everyone we can every day if we can, because it's the only project, is the only alternative that is realistic and that a lot of people is actually working today. So I think it's possible if people open tiny bit. It doesn't have to open completely their eyes, but it's just tiny bit, and then trust each other and just go for it. Just stop waiting for someone to come and help because they won't. We cannot expect that governments or agencies come and do the work for us. That's not going to happen. Yeah, I think that's our only option, to be honest.
Yes, thank you for very much. And, just the fact that you friends are being with us today, showing that people get involved in this process, in the process of changing, of the positive change, because what we see, it's not just a few people who are guilty of what is happening in the world, but this is the majority of us, of our inaction that, allows these other crimes to happen, because we have such conditions in the society that makes that possible. So, but the solutions that have been provided at the forum, such, for example, as advanced technologies, fair distribution of resources and limitation of the wealth, they are they are already there and can be implemented at any time, but it requires a public awareness about the challenges and involvement in the solutions. So, Aftab, I would like to ask you as a participant of Creative Society project, you deeply understand the need of implementation of Creative Society foundations, and you already act. You know that you set some goals for yourself to reach out as many people as possible. Could you please share with us and with our viewers what do you do and why?
Basically, when I was in Germany, and first time I was listen about this particular society, that there is a society named Creative Society, and the world volunteers are gathered, and they're working for the issue of global climate change. So I'm very happy, and I Google it, and I found the 8 foundations and all of the details. And then I meet different people there in Nuremberg and some other parts of the Germany. Even I visited to Zurich just for this purpose, that to meet the people and tell them that there is a society, the name Creative Society, and the world volunteers are without any religion, caste, and anything. They have just one aim and objective, that we are trying to work for the for the global solution of climate issue. This is not the issue of me. This is not the issue of you. This is the issue of the entire world. This is the issue for our survival. So for that purpose, I will share with you people on different on the page of Creative Society. I have also make a page, a Creative Society Pakistan. I'm also trying to educate the kids and this that because in the near future they become adults, and after that they will be young, and then so we are trying to make a chain like that everyone can take the responsibility, that I will educate 4 or 5 people to and I will tell him that how we will survive, what is the cause of global issues, what is the cause of global climate, what is creative society. So if we all take this initiative and we all unite for this purpose, that everyone take their own responsibility, not creative, because creative, we are the creative society, we people are the creative society. So if we take this responsibility, that this is my duty, that I can educate 4 people, and I tell him that what is creative society and what we are doing, and this is the responsibility of that particular person, another person, that you can tell this to the other 5 people, and the other 5 people will tell to the other 5, and this is the way, and we can educate the people on this way, because there is no other solution. The world governments, they are trying to for rising their economies, they are trying to rise their classes. Okay, they don't know about what the people want. Okay, they just know about their own interest. And there is the world is divided into 3 bases: the poor, the elite class, and the middle people. So there is the relationship between these people is exploitative in nature. That's why there is the scarcity of water. There is the issues of climate change, because for the last 400 years, 4,000 million years ago, the situation was not like that, and we are living in this world, and we don't know that because of we people, this world will be clashed, because we are not helping each other, we are not supporting each other, we are just trying to secure our own interests. So the creative society is working without any interest, which I realized in Germany and so many forums, because I have translated all the talks, the speeches for continuously for 12 hours in Pashto. And when I came to Pakistan and my own village, the people told me that you were there in a TV screen and you are telling some very amazing stories. So this is not, I told him that this is not the stories, this is the reality, that we are facing these problems. So now 204 students in my camp, and we are working that how to educate the young generation and how to educate our girls in universities, colleges, and schools about the creative society, about the global climate change, and about this particular work. So this is my contribution, and I'm trying to work for the creative society, and I will educate the people for this purpose. Because the unite we can do.
You're absolutely correct. United, we can do so much, and that is the only way forward, because creative society is the project of all humanity. It is the only platform that can unite all people in the world in one idea of building a peaceful society, a beautiful world that we all deserve. And we can have it as soon as we inform all the people worldwide, as soon as all the people say yes to the creative society. Most of the people, I would say yes, we can live in a beautiful world. And today already we know, and the forum showed us as well, that we have all the resources, we have all the technology. And with the united potential of all the scientists and all the people in the world, imagine what we can have if we use that potential for the benefit of every person, for your benefit, for the benefit of your family, my family, and all the families in the world. We can have a beautiful world. I would say that we all deserve it, don't we? I mean, why are we living like we are today, in fear? People are fearing what's going to happen tomorrow. We shouldn't live like that. We should have the best of the best, because this planet was given to us, and we should, we should make it beautiful again. We should fix the ecological problems that we have today. We can do only united, combat climate change, and start living as human beings. So thank you so much for sharing. And then, Johanna, what, as we're drawing to a close, what thoughts or what questions would you like to leave our viewers with today?
Please watch the forum, because we need to be aware in order to change things. Please join the Creative Society, not just for you, but for your kids, for our kids, for our future. Please do it. It's worth it, and it will change everything. We got everything, as you say, Olga. We got everything to change this world for a beautiful one, and we just have to open our eyes and stop being afraid of what people thinking, or even what is in our consciousness that tell us not to. But just go for it. Just do it. Share the information with everyone you can. Do it a little bit every day, just tiny bit, and every day will be good. And encourage people to be better, to join us and to work, not just in the Creative Society, but just work and then solve. Because if they do, everything is going to change. So please just watch the forum and join the Creative Society.
Yes, thank you, Johanna. Thank you, friends, for your insights and your, honest understandings. How much we need each other. So we've been divided for the last 6,000 years. And this is our time. This is not the time of certain groups. This is our time as humanity. So that's why we dare to speak in these big terms and this big, proportions, because this is our time and we have everything we need for it. So let's not waste our time, and let's not waste for the worst time to come, because, let's create our future today, and let's start informing people about the amazing future we can have. And all we have to do is just to create the electoral request. And the only thing each person needs to do is just to say yes, as Olga said. So yes to Creative Society. And the information is indeed the key. As soon as all people will have access to the truthful information, the sooner we will implement a solution that already exists, that already is there. And so share, please, the forum in your language, share your thoughts, and join the millions around the globe who build the Creative Society already.
Thank you. And also, I would like to thank our guests for joining us today. Thank you, the viewers, for joining us today as well. Also, I would like to remind our viewers that the Creative Society platform is created for the unification of all people worldwide. And be part of it. It's easy to join just by going on the website, creativesociety.com, and pressing the Join Us button. And you can pick the level of participation. If you would like to actively participate and volunteer, you are more than welcome to, or you can just join and say that, yes, I support the Creative Society. And also, if you have watched the international forum, Global Crisis, Where People We Want to Live, and you would like to participate in an international discussion such as this one, the one you're watching right now, please email us at info@creativesociety.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, and until next time.
Do you know that people stopped being silent? International discussions.
The truth is that when it comes to migrations and refugees, it is a business.
I saw the market where the children selling out openly.
4 days we were facing the sniper shot us and the bullets above our heads.
If we do not address such issues like human trafficking, tomorrow it could be you, tomorrow it could be me.
Politics is driving the science, not the science driving the politics.
Many people want I stop to talk, but I say no. This reality can affect and can take your life anytime.
People are losing everything.
$270 trillion.
Where is the money? And where is the result?
This 12,068-year cycle is a clock cycle.
All these problems that we're facing right now, you cannot tackle alone.
Thank goodness we have the creative society
to choose human life over currency.
We're living in one big home, and if this big family fighting with each other, destroying walls of the home, tomorrow we will find ourselves in the streets without a roof, without the families.
From every corner, we can actually hear that it is not economically beneficial. But the question is, economically, it is not beneficial for whom? Isn't beneficial for us people to save our own lives?
We need to bring together all of the intellect, all to the science, all of the people that can actually do something.
I think that the members of Creative Society are the new and real superheroes.
These people already understand that we should urgently act. Do you want to become part of changes? Take action. Don't be silent. You are invited to the new season of international discussions. Watch the forum, Global Crisis. We are people. We want to live. Changes begin from you.